What's up, guys? Wanted to share with you a conversation I had with a friend of mine yesterday. A close friend of mine. We went to middle school together. Nowadays, we speak like once or twice a year, and every time we do, especially the last 2 years, he always drops like little seeds on this idea he has and the possibility in the near future of him starting a new business, starting a business, and so yesterday, we had a conversation over 2 hours almost, and I pushed the practicality a bit more because prior conversations is always a lot to do with mindset and things like that. So I was kind of just like starting to bring in topics on what would it really take, what would need to happen for him to actually make this move, right? Because he's thinking of actually moving out here, not too far from me, and kind of go in a similar path. Maybe it's like consulting, client based, or he's also considering affiliate. So we came down to a few factors. I am manly. Came down to a few factors that he's concerned about. One of them is one of the most common ones, which is the cash flow to start with, right? What kind of cash flow is he going to have just off the bat, so he has he can pay rent, his bills, and stuff like that before the business starts to take over. So I went on to give my take on it, my experience, where I basically explained to him that concept where I made this video before. Basically, you get a job that is completely stress-free, right? Preferably, it even has freedom of schedule. So things like driving a cab or delivery of some sort. Maybe a restaurant, even if it's that stress-free. For me, working at a restaurant wouldn't be stress-free because I don't have any experience, but if you have, I guess that would be stress-free. Whatever it is, a job you can get very quick and you can choose your hours and go to it. And the whole idea behind it is that you want to calculate exactly how many hours you need to work. You need to be able to say like 20 hours a week I need to work to pay all my bills. After that, every other hour and all my energy is dedicated for my dream. All right? That's the whole idea, that it puts you in a very strong place. And famous people like Gary Vaynerchuk, I guess, kind of touches or shines light on it by saying things like, you work 9 to 5, but where's your 5 to 2? 5 to 2 should be used for your dream goals and things like that, right? Same concept, but a bit more practical, I think, for how I say it, where choose exactly the hours. Don't spend 40 hours if you don't need the extra 20 hours to be at your job, because that could be spent on yourself, right? So he started to understand the concept and he started to like it. And we kept on talking until I really started to see his main concerns, which went more like this. So currently he has a pretty good job. Okay, he went to a respectable college, and he's working in a financial position of some sort, I believe. He did an intern and they hired him, and it's working out pretty well. He's getting paid like $25 an hour, and it's working well. His life is awesome, right? He's still following up through college, banging chicks every weekend, going to parties, doing a lot of stuff. But as he puts in his words, what he's doing, he doesn't see himself like panning out this way. He doesn't want to be in this kind of environment and job schedule for much longer, right? Cool. I guess it's pretty common, especially in our line of work. If you look at forums and the Facebook groups and stuff, like, a lot of people are in the same situation, right? But it's interesting for me to hear it from somebody that I know in real life and grew up with at one point. Anyways, so basically what he was trying to say is that how is it that we can do it where as soon as he comes, lands in New York, within some time, if he could get into a similar kind of job, right? A well-respectable company, whatever, financial position where he's making about 30-40K a year, and within the side he's going to be working at he's going to start working in the business, right? Well understood. I guess it makes sense. A lot of people say similar stuff, but what concerned me is that how strong he had an idea about being overqualified for certain other jobs, right? For example, the example I gave to him was this. and we talked about a bunch of examples about driving and things like that, but he had a strong connotation between that, because especially I understand, I'm from Indian descent, I come from Bangladesh, driving a cab, even me, it's that connotation is so strong, even I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't drive a cab, because of the whole idea of like, oh, if you're an Indian, you either work in Subway or a cab. I get it, but it goes a bit further than that. For him, it was more about being able to start off in a position so at least he can tell his friends and family, and then he's doing that. And once he starts the business and once he's making well in the business, that's when he switches over, and then he can put that persona. And we kept on talking back and forth in this whole persona, and that could be a whole problem in of itself, of like, why is it such a strong idea of what you put forth to your family and friends? This is your dream you're going for. That's another video. But the main thing I shared with him that really shook him up was this. That went like this. We think when we go to college or whatever qualification you have, even you use me as an example, I think that, okay, I would never go back to work in McDonald's, right? I'm way over that, right? I'm on my way to grow an agency in online marketing, right? Why the hell would I work there? But when you really think about it, you're not even good enough for McDonald's. I am not good enough to work in McDonald's. If you break down the pieces, right, and you see and you take out all those fluff and connotations and whatever, those mental boundaries we share or not, and what people think about us and things like that, if I just put it bang forward and I was to replace somebody in McDonald's today, right now, I don't know, what is their setup? It's cashiers at the front, they have people flipping the burgers in the back and passing it, people come in, they take their money, give them the burgers, and that's the whole how, then there's a manager who watches over the cashiers and the burger flippers or whatever, right? If you look at that system that runs a store right now, right, and I was to replace any one of them, and you look from it from the owner's point of view, let's say Ronald McDonald, he was still alive, and he has these 100,000 employees, and it's with a bird's eye view, he can see that I am replacing for the day one of them, I would be the weakest link in the chain. Because I don't have experience flipping burgers, right? I would actually be a disservice because I'm not good enough. I'm not fast enough at getting the change back to the people. I still have to count the cash. I can't manage any of the cashiers. I don't know how to make the burgers or even fold it together. So for me to think I'm overqualified doesn't really make sense. I'm disservice to the business. And to the business owner, what matters is the results. Sometimes we forget that. We think it's all about the position. If we have a cubicle in office and things like that, what are you fucking bringing to the table, right? So with that idea, I tried to kind of say it a little bit nicer, obviously. I don't want to hit him over the head too hard, but basically paint the picture that you are going for an industry, you're trying to be a business owner, a world where things run by results, okay? A roofer, he doesn't fucking care. The market itself does not care what your qualifications are, who you are, where you come from, whatsoever. I can have a certificate directly from Google telling me how good I am, and at best what it would do is be a part of the closing of the sale. For the people who are on the fence, maybe make them a little feel easier that I know what I'm doing. That whole certificate from Google. But for me to think that since I have a certificate, people should be lining up to sign contracts, just doesn't work like that, right? So for those of you watching who, who's in the way to start a business, for you, it's like, yeah, no shit, duh. It's like the smoke is cleared for you. But, it can be a big disconnect for people who haven't started yet to think that, oh no, I was told that if I did this and I'm in this position, I should be over this, but you're not, right? He's having trouble jumping on this business that he's been talking about over 2 years because of this little ideas that is stopping him from doing this. You want to land in New York and get a financial job that's paying you 30-40K just to start off. That might be someone else's dream. That could be someone else's dream. Then that's not yours, right? If your dream is to, if you want to really start the business and live that lifestyle, then choose that and be ready to sacrifice all the other ones to make sure you nail your real one. Peace.